and welcome back to day 7 of my January declutter series. So if you haven't seen any of the other videos up till now of these that I've done, I have popped them all in a playlist, which I will link down below. And in those videos, I basically like themed the days. So like day 1, it was clothing. Day 2, it was shoes. Day 3, I think it was like hair care. 4, I think I did 3 and 4, 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together. And yeah, they were kind of like in categories. And no, this isn't going to be the last one of that. I think potentially the next few will be. Just because I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it for now. And then probably towards the end, it's going to be like a mad rush of how the frick do I find 20 things to declutter? It's just going to be like random things throughout the house. Now, I have been kind of thinking as the days kind of go on, like as I'm walking around, kind of what things might I include within the next days, because I don't want to have that kind of sense of overwhelm and pressure of, oh shit, like what am I going to declutter? So I kind of have this like running thing in my head of kind of things that I've maybe thought about getting rid of previously. And I'm basically using this month and this kind of challenge to be the deciding factor. If I've thought about decluttering it before and I've more than likely not used it since that thought, it's time that it just needs to go. And a lot of these things are kind of things that I have thought about kind of decluttering previously, and I haven't used them. So that is why they are kind of in this declutter. And a lot of these things, it's like, oh, I don't want to get rid of it. I am very much one of those people. I hate waste, and I hate getting rid of things unnecessarily. I'm a just in caser. I keep things just in case it could be useful, or I might use them, or generally because I think I spent money on that. I don't want to get rid of it. But I'm having to kind of reset my thinking a little bit, because the one thing that I learned in 2024 was that I get very easily overwhelmed by multiple factors. And one of them is kind of my environment and just things in general. Over the last, I'd say 7 or 8 years, I've been kind of on a bit of a mission to become not like a complete minimalist, but like a mini minimalist, and kind of buy and just possess things with intention. So kind of only owning things that I use. I don't have things, or I try not to have things that I only use kind of as and when. There is a small exception in that, in like travel stuff, because I don't travel that often. I would love to, but obviously I can't at the moment. But it's things in that category, like, little travel mini bottles and packing cubes and things like that, that occasionally like they come in useful, like if I go for a weekend away, go back home or whatever. I don't want to have to repurchase them frequently, because again, that kind of seems counterproductive. But again, they're not items that I use super, super frequently. So that's kind of like one exception that I have. Anyway, I digress. I just wanted to kind of share my workings out, share my thought processes along with this, alongside just me going, I'm decluttering this. I figured it's kind of useful for me to share kind of where I'm at, and share what I'm thinking, and share how I'm going to make this month work, basically, because I feel like at the start it seems like quite an easy challenge to take on, but as the days go on, it will probably get quite overwhelming, and I want to document that as I'm going. So anyway, I have the things already set up here, just because, again, for this one, it just seemed like the easiest thing to do. Now, again, this category is kind of following on from the last few days, in that it's mainly beauty related. Beauty is an area of mine that is very conflicting, because I absolutely love consumption of beauty products. I always have. It's kind of where my channel started. I started doing like kind of beauty hauls and get ready with me's and all of that kind of stuff. And that was just like my area of passion. By trade, I'm a beauty therapist. So it's just a passion of mine. But as I just mentioned, having loads of products really overwhelms me. And one thing that I've been trying for the last couple of years to get on top of is my skincare, and just kind of being consistent, just doing a basic skincare routine every day and just like looking after myself, just general kind of self-care, to like a basic level of like cleanse, tone, moisturize sort of thing. And I realized that I just had a lot of products that sat on the side, that every time I went to do that basic routine, I'd see all these things and I'd think, I don't want to waste them, but I don't know what to do. I don't know if they work for me. Basically. And I just don't want that. As I say, a lot of these products have kind of just sat around, not been used, and it just kind of seems more wasteful that they're doing that than me getting rid of them. Because if I'm not going to use them and they're just causing me more stress than anything, it just kind of seems counterproductive to self-care. So 3 things that, like I say, I kind of feel awful getting rid of these. They're all from Tropic. I love Tropic as a brand, and I have continued to kind of repurchase their products, but I became an ambassador for them a couple of years ago, and I've obviously got their like starter kit thing, whatever you want to call it, with like almost all of these kind of treatments and things. And then obviously I've purchased kind of bits as and when I've seen them and thought I would like to try them. And like I say, just having the too many extra steps for me is it's just too much. So I'm getting rid of them. It's not to say that I dislike them and I wouldn't repurchase them maybe again in the future once I've kind of got things a bit more settled. But for now, these things are going. So we've got the fruit peel. Did absolutely love that, but again, these do have a kind of best before date, and quite a lot of my Tropic stuff is actually 2023 and it all has been opened. So yeah, so fruit peel, the elixir, which again I do really like as well, and then the summer spritz. I bought this the year that it released, and you can probably see I've barely used any of it. I think I've maybe sprayed it on my face like 3 or 4 times. So yeah, the fact that I didn't gravitate towards using it just means it needs to get out of my life. And then a pack of, I think I've mentioned before, because I got rid of another product of theirs, used to be Amore lashes, now House of Amore. Some of their quick lashes, these are like the pre-mapped ones. I do absolutely love these, and I kept them because you can reuse these if they're like cleaned up. You can obviously reuse them, and I got these to wear for a wedding, but as you may be able to see, I have one missing, and when they're pre-mapped, if you've got one missing, it don't really work. So yeah, they're going. So the next item is an eyelash related thing. Now technically this is, I don't know how many items in one. I don't really want to sit and count them because it would take me far too long. But this is basically a massive wodge of lash lift doodads. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what their technical term is. Just the little pads that you put on your eyes that you stick your eyelashes to. Like I said before, I'm a beauty therapist by trade, so a lot of them have come from obviously me doing treatments. But now I don't do that. If I do a lash lift, obviously it's only ever on myself, so I only never ever need one size. Those are just multiple different sizes. A lot of them, when you buy like a kit or whatever, you kind of get all 3 sizes of them, which obviously I don't need. So I am gonna reach out to like fellow therapists and see if anyone does want them, because it does seem rather wasteful to just throw them away. But yeah, I don't need them in my life, so they're going. And then the last 2 items are, again, kind of 2 of the same, but they are two different things. They are two different items in themselves. And similarly with some of the other things, this isn't to say that these items specifically I dislike. I do really like them. They are loose eyeshadows by the brand Strict Cosmetics, which I absolutely adore. I mean, I adore everything she does. And I adore those eyeshadows, but I'm just not that into makeup anymore. If I do wear anything, it's just really simple, kind of bit of mascara, fill my brows, bit of complexion stuff. I don't do that much on my eyes these days. I think it's since becoming a mum and just getting that a bit older, and just my face is just very hard to work with. And equally, these eyeshadows are a little bit harder to work with, as opposed to like just a panned eyeshadow. Like having a loose one is a little bit harder to work with. And I am quite heavy-handed, I am quite awkward, and I am quite clumsy. So I am just getting rid of them because they aren't getting used. I think I've maybe used each of them once. So yeah, they are going. All of those things, obviously, that I mentioned in this video are going. And I'm feeling good, feeling motivated, like with the last few days. I don't know, like this declutter for me, like it's a big one. By the end of it, I will have decluttered just shy of 500 items, which is just insane when you think about it. And I feel like it's not really something I could have done all in one day. I think spreading it out like this is kind of really helpful, really kind of motivating, especially for my brain. I have ADHD, so if you haven't already noticed, this kind of way of doing it, I feel like is really working for me. And each day I'm getting a bit of dopamine, which is always good. So yeah, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, join us along for the ride. Let me know down below if you're also doing a declutter this January, be that exactly how I am, doing like a little bit every day, or if you're just doing a massive purge. I feel like it's just the time of year, isn't it, that everyone kind of feels ready to get started with sorting life out and decluttering and things. So yeah, let me know if you're doing this too, and I will see you all for day 8.